This is the Xiaomi Pad 6 Max 14 and man is it big. Just to give you some perspective, here's the regular Xiaomi Pad 6 and this here's the Max. See how large it is? Large screen tablets is a segment that's mostly been dominated by two players, Apple and Samsung. Well, three if you add Lenovo into the mix, and now with the Pad 6 Max 14, Xiaomi seems to want in. Hey guys, Ash here, and today on C4E Tech, let's take a look at everything the new Xiaomi Pad 6 Max 14 brings to the table. Now before we talk about that insane display and the cool things you can do with it, let's get the unboxing over with. The experience is pretty standard for a Xiaomi tablet, and here we have the Xiaomi Pad 6 Max 14. Man, that's a mouthful. I'm just gonna call it the Max going forwards. Let's now take it out of its protective cover and peel the sticker off its metal back. The Max looks pretty much like a blown up Pad 6. Cosmetically, there aren't very many changes. Let me turn it on and set it aside for a moment. We then have this Xiaomi branded white insert which houses a quick start guide, and that's followed by a USB Type A to Type C cable with orange accents. And finally, there's this 67-watt charger. Now it's nice to see Xiaomi continue to include a charger in box, and using this charger we should be able to get the Max's 10,000 mAh battery from 0 to 50 in just half an hour, with 0 to 100 taking a little over an hour. When I first read 10,000 mAh, in my head it sounded like a power bank. And I guess someone at Xiaomi thought so too, because they've added reverse charging capabilities to this one, which isn't exactly new, but the Max, it supports reverse charging at up to 33 watts, which if you think about it is awesome, because in a pinch, you can use this tablet to fast charge a phone. Nice, right? It's also impressive that despite the larger everything, Xiaomi's not increased the thickness here. The Pad Max at 6.5mm is just as thick as a regular Xiaomi Pad 6. That said, the rest of it, of course, it's much bigger. For starters, the Pad Max, it's really heavy, 50% heavier than the vanilla Pad 6. At 750 grams, we sure are closing in on ultrabook weights. It's also 25% taller and wider. Another way to put it would be, this is not an easy tablet to hold. As sleek as it is, it's pretty uncomfortable to hold and use for longer than a few minutes. But that just comes with territory, I suppose. Tablets over 11 inches are almost always unwieldy, so I guess getting a case with some kind of stand is almost mandatory here. Talking about which, Xiaomi does sell an official case and they've priced it at 199 RMB, which seems fair. It's just your standard magnetic book cover case with screen on and off functionality, and it gives you an option of propping the Max up on level surfaces. Then there's also a keyboard case they offer. The keyboard connects through these pins here, and what's unique about it is the fact that it has Bluetooth support with a built-in battery. So if you need, you can snap it off and continue using it without the keyboard being physically connected. This one's priced at 799 yuan. And then there's the stylus. Xiaomi's calling this Focus Stylus because it now works wirelessly. As in, you can do a few new things with it, like say use it as a pointer. This one's priced at 499 yuan and it connects to the Pad Max via this area here. And here to the right, when you hold the tablet in portrait, we also find two microphones and the volume keys. The power button and speakers reside up top. A fingerprint scanner is built into this power button and it works fine. The pins we saw earlier for the keyboard to connect, they are found to the left, and the other speakers alongside a mic and the USB Type C port are located at the bottom. There is no headphone jack or microSD support, and Xiaomi doesn't offer a cellular version either. There however is support for NFC, and this Type C port, it's USB 3.2 and is capable of video out. So using the Max with an external monitor or using it with something like this Xreal Air headset, that's possible. At the same time, Xiaomi's support for video out, it does leave a lot to be desired. When connected to an external display, Xiaomi chooses to mirror the display as is, so we get a 16:10 output, meaning with most external monitors, you're going to be stuck with black bars on either side. Also, it doesn't allow for the display to be extended or even be used as a trackpad, something other brands like Samsung and even Lenovo allow for. Now that said, when you're using the Max as just a tablet, Xiaomi does provide multiple ways to make best use of all the screen real estate at your disposal. The Pad 6 Max, it's running on MIUI Pad 14 built atop Android 13, and let's quickly take a look at some tablet specific functionality that's included here. First, we have our regular multi-window option. What's special here is that Xiaomi allows you to trigger it with a 3-finger swipe. As always, you can change the window sizes or get the app side swapped as needed. And when you leave this setup, the app pair can be found on the dock to launch again. Additionally, you can go into Recents and long press on an app and launch multi-window from here. Then we have floating windows. Just tap and hold an app from the dock and choose floating window. Or when you're in another app, you can just drag and drop icons of the dock to have them open in floating windows. You can now resize them as you see fit or flick them off to the side. And if you need to go back full screen, just hold the handle to the bottom and flick downwards. Next up, we get Workspace. Now this is something you activate from the quick toggles. Once you do that, you get a kind of DeX mode of sorts. All apps now launch as floating windows by default, and you can have up to 4 of them open at once. Of course, it's not as stable as DeX yet, but it's good to see Xiaomi trying. Now to the top here, we have a 20 megapixel selfie camera. This is the same sensor from the Pad 6 Pro, but here it's accompanied by a time of flight sensor. And this lets us do a few things. For starters, we can set the Pad 6 Max to automatically wake and scan for our face when we walk up to it and have it lock once we walk away. Then there are some gesture features that frankly don't work very well, but to be fair, they are labeled as being in beta, at least for now. Apart from these, we also get some meeting specific features sprinkled in. You can have the selfie camera stay on you if you're moving around in a meeting, and you can even direct the pickup patterns for the 4 mics on board. Now the 4th mic is on the rear camera array, and the cameras you see here, they also remain unchanged from the Xiaomi Pad 6 Pro. The primary, it's a 50 megapixel 1x2.76 inch sensor that's paired with an f1.8 lens, and the secondary is just a depth sensor. Now the optics, they seem well enough for a tablet, and I'm sure outside of scanning documents and things like that, we aren't really going to be shooting with a tablet as big as this one. Okay, it's now time for the main event. It's time to talk about what's underneath that selfie camera. That insane display. Whether it's for productivity or just watching videos, this 14-inch panel, it's amazing. This here's a 12-bit panel with support for HDR10+. It has the same resolution as its stablemates, meaning 2880 by 1800, but since these pixels are spread over a much larger surface area, the resulting pixel density, it's a tad lower at 242 pixels per inch. Though it's still very good for a tablet this size. The peak brightness is 600 nits here, which is up from 550 on the Pad 6 and the 6 Pro. The refresh rate, it's slightly lower at 120Hz, down from 144. Now this is a beautiful panel, and I really enjoyed consuming content on it. The experience is further improved thanks to the 8 speakers Xiaomi's thrown in. Now to give you an idea of how good they sound, this is the vanilla Pad 6. And this is the Pad 6 Max. These are probably some of the best sounding speakers I've heard on any tablet till date. And if you need to, you can even tweak how they sound given there is Dolby Atmos support built in. Now under the hood, the Pad 6 Max, like the Pad 6 Pro, is powered by last year's flagship Qualcomm chip, the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. Now it's not uncommon for tablets to have higher stability scores than phones, since they do after all have a larger surface area to dissipate heat, but these results, they honestly surprised me. Almost a perfect score. Xiaomi's done extremely well with this. Now, the chip on the inside, it's paired with 8, 12 or 16 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM and 256 gigs, 512 gigs or a terabyte of UFS 3.1 storage. As for the price, the Pad 6 Max starts at 3799 RMB, so it costs about twice as much as the regular Pad 6. So if it ever gets a global launch, you should know what to expect based on the Pad 6's local pricing. So guys, that's everything Xiaomi Pad 6 Max 14. Thanks for watching. Bye bye now.